De La Fuente's remarkable record at major tournaments continues. He has led Spain into the World Cup final, much to the delight of all those back home in Madrid and Barcelona. They've beaten France today by our destination today for the first of two World Cup semi-finals. Alexis Lalas, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry, Rebecca Lowe with you. We will hear from the second goal scorer, Pedro Porro, shortly, but we'll begin, Lex, by talking everyone through the story of this game.
Yeah, the stars are out, on and off the field for that matter, and this is just a, like I said, an innocuous cross that comes across. You think, all right, he'll deal with it. Digne on that far side. Uh-oh, he makes a complete mess of this, doesn't recognize where Lamine Yamal is, and Lamine Yamal says, I will sneak in on your offside there, blind side, and it's a penalty. Basal steps up, crushes it, absolutely crushes it in the back of the net, and just like that, Spain up 1-0, off to the races, feeling good about themselves.
And in the 28th minute, you're going to see an early injury from William Saliba. You can see now he goes down, some kind of injury, and France has to do their first substitution. Maxence Lacroix comes in. Crystal Palace legend, not difficult to beat. In the 58th minute, Pedro Porro makes 1-2. Look at the French players, they're ball watchers. What happens? He comes free, bam, 2-0. 1-2 with the striker, comes free. The French players, they watch the ball, follow your guy. Whenever they do 1-2, you'll follow your guy. Don't watch the ball. And makes it 2-0. And happy.
And then we thought maybe, but just a maybe, something can happen from here. Laporte miscontrolling the ball, Cherki feeding Kylian Mbappe, and Simon comes out. I thought that maybe Desiree Doué was going to take it. One touch is a bit difficult, but then Unai Simon comes back, gets the ball, saves it. Maybe if it was Zlatan, he would have tried to volley it from here, but he's not Zlatan, couldn't finish it. It was too little from France at the end of the very day. We already talked about it. They controlled the game on and off the ball. They showed why they're European champion. They're showing why they're going to the final. There is nothing to add. They were far more, I think they were superior. There's nothing to say about it. Sometimes you just have to think about it and see what you can do next time you meet them. But, like I said, Spain, well done.
Two goal scorers for Spain today. Then, as you saw, Oyarzabal, he has 17 in his last 18, 30 in 60 for Spain. The other goal scorer, not as many. Pedro Porro with 2 for Spain, both at this World Cup. Let's hear from him now.
Well, it's a dream come true. I couldn't even dream of this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because of the team's attitude from beginning to end. I think that we did such an amazing game. We gave it our all in order just to go through to the final. We knew they were a very tough team that were doing things really well, and this is our team. It's not about me.
Pedro Porro with the second goal today, but I want to talk once again. You mentioned him at half-time, Oyarzabal. What a contribution to this team. 30 goals and 60 appearances for Spain, Thierry.
Do you remember the first ever day?
I do remember.
Okay, I said people don't show respect to Oyarzabal. Okay, now I think they will.
Why do you think they don't?
Because he is playing for Sociedad, and maybe that's not maybe your typical team that people think, oh my God, he doesn't play for Barcelona, he doesn't play for Atletico, he doesn't play for Real Madrid. But put some respect on his name, because when you look at the numbers and look at also where he scored those goals and when he scored those goals, you just have to respect that. That's about it. I know he's not your step over guys, not make guys and whatnot. But one thing that he surely knows where is where the net is. And so you have to respect that, and he's been brilliant for a very long time for Spain.
Zlatan, maybe he's not fashionable, like Thierry says, plays for Real Sociedad instead of a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, but as Thierry talks about, the numbers you can't argue with.
No, the numbers are crazy, and but if I speak about Spain, I don't speak about one star. The team is the star. When they shine collective, even if you have Yamal. But this is not a team that is dependent on one player. It's not an individual performance. This is a team performance. Everything they do is as a team. And this guy does these crazy numbers because of the team. And he's not your typical star. When you talk about Yamal, you talk about Mbappe, Olise, he doesn't shine in that way, but he does what's the most important, the goals that counts, and they're in the World Cup finals. I prefer to score those goals, to come to the final, than to be a star and not come to the final. So congrats to him. I want to give also credit to the France team. They were shining. They did amazing things. Deschamps, he did an amazing job with the French national team. I wish him all the best in the next chapter. And we have been enjoying this French team. And they lost against a better team today. And congrats also to Spain for reaching the World Cup final.
I know you said it in a few moments ago, but I'm going to ask you more about Didier Deschamps in just a second. I just want to ask you about Spain, Lex. Have they just warmed themselves perfectly into this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, every coach will tell you that you don't win it in the beginning, and you, to the extent that you can, you like to get better over the course of a tournament. Well, this was against a French team that they did this, and this was as good as they have been. I think this performance was something, like I said, something that you put up on the wall and say, this is how we play the game, and this is why we play the game. You know, to your point about Oyarzabal, yeah, he doesn't scream movie star. You know, we love our stars, and he is a star in the sense that he puts the ball in the back of the net. And those people that do are going to get the attention. But you know, the star of this team had a good game, but still didn't star in this game. He had the possession. He kept the possession. So even in this moment, the star of the team is just part of this team, and that's what makes them really, really good.
They didn't start their best way, Spain, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And they didn't concede a goal also today. This is the 7th. They concede only one game out of 7.
Let's finish before we head down to Rob and the guys pitch side. I wanted to ask you again, Didier Deschamps, I said it was goodbye to him. Of course, he will take charge of the third place game on Saturday down in Miami against the loser of either England or Argentina. 25 years of his life with this team. I'm just going to give you another few moments to say about him.
Well, I said it before. Thank you for what he has done as a player. Thank you for what he has done as a coach. Yes, we know the 3rd and 4th place is better to finish 3rd. I don't know if he does have that medal, by the way, but he has them all at the end of the very day. But no, look, like I said, today wasn't supposed to be, but we will always remember him. I don't know what he's going to do next. Zlatan said it. We wish him all the very best. We all know who is coming next. So hopefully, you said it. I don't know. It hasn't been announced. But look, we all know it's coming next. We also wish him all the very best. Hopefully, Didier can also finish, you know, with a win, and maybe Mbappe can finish top goal scorer and all of that. But once again, Didier Deschamps has been outstanding for the national team. So Didier, merci.
Yeah, reports are that Zinedine Zidane will come in as the new head coach of this France team.
All the best, Zizou.
Yeah, but what a bunch of players to take over. Right, let's get some more post-match reaction. Pitch side, Landon Donovan, Javier Hernandez, and Rob Stone, guys.
All right, guys, thank you again. Deschamps, only the 3rd player and coach to win a World Cup as a player and as a coach. We talked about in the pregame, though, Javier, that left side of the French backline in the midfield, that was a soft spot, and Spain exploited it today.
Yeah, definitely. Lamine Yamal with a very clever and cheeky play. You know, that we've seen so many penalties like that when the ball is in the air, the defender or the guy who wants to kick it out never see the player just come before the kick. We saw it with Luka Modric, you know, against England and etc. Some other penalties, and then this. I agree what they say over there about that he's not playing in these top world-class clubs. That's why they don't respect him maybe, and we don't talk about him, but the numbers are there, you know. To come here in a semi-final, score a penalty, you know, what that matters. But then Pedro Porro, the amazing one too that he did, an amazing goal, was as well from the right side.
We're seeing highlights of Yamal right now. Landon, grade his performance today.
He was fantastic. He drew the penalty. He hasn't been the goal scorer we've expected this tournament. But as he's gotten healthier throughout the tournament, he's gotten better and better. And you just see it. Where we sat, our vantage point was great. And you said it so perfectly before the game. Every time he gets the ball, there's this real fear in the French team. And his decision-making as to when to just pass quickly and then everybody relaxes, or he starts to go at you, and he mixed it up perfectly all night. And he was almost unplayable at times. Both goals came down that side.
Yep.
Plus the goal he scored that was a little bit offside. He was great.
Let's talk about the Spanish defense. World Cup record, 6th shutout they pitched today. They've only allowed 1 goal. What is it about what they do, particularly today, Javier, Javier, that shut down a French side that was arguably the best offensive unit at this World Cup.
I'm going to keep insisting that the way that they press, it helps them a lot because they maintain their opposition always as far as they can and they can recover a lot of balls. So the volume of the defense, it's less because they're pressing and pressing high enough, and they recover a lot of balls. And even if they don't recover, they make the ball to come a little bit not, we said in the football world, not as clean as they expected offensively, part of your opposition. So I think that's important. And then, the four defenders, Cucurella, Pedro Porro, Laporte, and Cubarsí, they did an amazing game today, stopping Mbappé, make them a very hard day. Olise didn't have a very good performance, but as well is because the credit of how the whole team defends in Spain.
They weren't as dominant statistically possession-wise, but their possession was so calm and so professional, and they just slowly would pick apart the French team and made them run to the point where the French team would be disgusted because they couldn't get around the ball, and they would just be dejected and give up a little bit. And there were these moments in the game, two really important moments. Balls got clipped over the top, and we kind of stood out. Mbappe's in. We went, oh my God. And Unai Simon, and that was aggressive, charged off his line and made a couple massive plays. And that plays into your psyche too from France. You're like, we can't play in front of you. They're defending well, and we try to go behind, and Unai Simon is so far off his line and puts out the fire. We can't find a way to break them down.
At what point were you saying, uh-oh, France is in trouble today?
Well, it felt pretty early for me because, look, I talked, when Ian and I called the Spanish game earlier in the tournament, I said there is this commitment by everybody to defend collectively, and they're so, you talk about them and with the possession and all that, they just defend so well. All their top four players really press, and actually France tonight, this was the most I've seen them run and press. They just couldn't get around the ball consistently. Yeah, there were a few giveaways when Unai Simon had to play long and Oyarzabal couldn't bring it down and all that, but they were just so calm in how